You're watching the Battered Fans Network.
The heroes are back. Beards talking balls, rapping pink and black. Coming live from the 305, it's official tissue. The Battered Fan, Chris and Dan, weekly rocking with you. We talk Messi, Boosie, Jordi, Lucho, the Fat Four, to Ben Cram, Noah, Ruiz, Fred. What more could you ask for? Tighten up and get ready, listen in on the pod. Solana and X in Espanol, just to even the odds. Breakdowns and gas bagging, join the tribe and just vibe. $3.99, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't hesitate, say what's up, go ahead and come in. No question about it, I'm ready to get hurt again.
No question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 292 of the Better Herons podcast. I am your host, Daniel Granada, and alongside me, as always, Mr. KBD. How are you doing, sir?
It's a beautiful Saturday. I mean, if you're down here in South Florida, the weather is amazing. The fact that it's so cold is amazing.
Well, it's not cold, but it's definitely cloudy.
Cool.
It's nice. It's a nice day down in South Florida. A very odd Saturday matinee in the off season, but Telasco Segovia has been the topic of conversation for the last 24 hours. And like we've done in the past, we try to find podcasts from other parts of the world to talk about players that we don't know very well about. I think the last time we did that was with Freire. And we've managed to find someone that covers the Portugal League, and we're going to bring him on in a second. But before we do that, I don't know if you noticed, Chris, I threw the FIFA card up there for you.
Yes,
in case you had to check that out. So I wanted to make sure that we got the FIFA card covered. 66 overall. You know, Chris loves to do his FIFA scouting, so we wanted to put that up there before we got the real info on him. So are you ready to talk some Telasco?
I'm ready. I mean, just if you're gonna go off of my synopsis, that's a silver common card. I'm not happy with that.
Well, I mean, look, if he's coming from Portugal, he's 21 years old, Chris. I think for a 21-year-old, you're not going to find many gold cards. So we're going based off of the FIFA scouting report. So far, Chris isn't happy. So we'll see. By the way, Chris, I sent you. Actually, I might not have sent it to you. If you watch his YouTube videos, you check out a couple videos. He gets a little saucy. He might win. Knowing you and the kind of players you like, he gets saucy in the midfield. But
I'll have to watch some highlights.
All right. So, but without further ado, we're going to bring on Barney from Longball Futebol. Oh, actually, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, Barney. How you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm so excited to be on this podcast. Like when I started my podcast with my brother, we had no idea that we'd be speaking to fans all across the world, and here I am talking to an Inter Miami podcast. This is incredible. Yeah. So
yeah, man, it's a great time. We love building the community because we seem to build. We have people from all over the world now that we talk to, which is always awesome. So congrats to you and your podcast. And you covered the Portugal League, Portuguese League. And you are in the UK, which we thought was a little off. But thank God for you, because when we were looking for Portuguese content creators, they obviously all speak Portuguese. So we were very happy to run across your channel. Just real quick, let everybody know, just in case anybody, like I know Joe Kerr is Portuguese, somebody that's often watching the show with us in the chat, so they can know that they could follow you guys to keep up with the league.
Yeah. I mean, that was the reason we started. It was because there wasn't much English language content on the Portuguese league, and we've seen so much talent come out of this league over the years. It's like, and as well as managers as well. So we just thought we'd throw ourselves in there, try and immerse ourselves in it, and it's a lovely community to be part of. And this is the fun bit when we see the talent that we've been hyping up leave the league, and then we get to talk about them to other fans. That's our favorite part, I think.
Well, and I think that's where we want to start. You said that you're hyping up some talent and you see them leaving. So Telasco, what are your thoughts on Telasco? He's been there for a year and a half, I want to say now. Yeah. And he got there. He was loaned out to an Italian club, I believe.
Sampdoria, yeah.
Right. He had to go back to Venezuela, but that team went.
Apparently, that team just couldn't afford to play football, and then they ended up getting signed. He ended up getting signed to Casapia in 2023.
Mm-hmm. But it was weird because it was after the summer window, like it was September the 23rd. So the window had closed. He hadn't found a club. He only got 3 minutes at Sampdoria. He had played for their youth team. But but the thing with him is his performance for Venezuela all the way through the youth teams. He's been impressive, right? He's won awards, player, and all this.
He was young player of the year in Venezuela.
Yes.
2019. I know he won the award. I'm not sure exactly what year, but he won young player of the year.
Yeah. So he's been such an important player for them. So Casapia, the very small club in Portugal, they've probably got the smallest wage budget in the top division at the moment. They
wow.
So but what they've been quite successful at is identifying talent and making the most of it. And with Segovia, he took a little while to adapt to Portuguese football. I think he was at his best towards the end of last season. Then currently we're seeing him in a rich vein of form, looking really, really good. And Casapia seems to have unearthed this gem. All the talk from us and some of the Portuguese media was about where he might move, and that's always looking at Sporting, Porto, Benfica possibly. So like those stories were starting to come out, those rumors, we're starting to hear that this season because of his performances. So
his name is starting to pick up some steam.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I was so impressed with his Inter Miami move, because I feel like it is a good step for him. It's that, I don't know if you guys agree, but for me, this could be a nice stepping stone. I've seen you've already sold someone to the Premier League. This is a smart move for both parties, I think.
Well, and that's sort of the idea. Like we had, like you mentioned, Diego Gomez, who took the step to us and now just got signed to a club in the Premier League. I mean, I'm looking at Casapia's standings. They've won 6 games. I mean, in the last 5 games, they've won 3 out of the last 5 and tied the other 2. So I mean, they're in pretty good form at the moment.
And he's scored in 2 of those games. So like this is his most consistent. Like he's contributing
What
goals. Yeah, and that's not his game necessarily, but he's confident at the moment. You can see that, and I think that's why.
I was gonna pull up his shot chart real quick. He's taken 12 shots all year, scored twice, both inside the box. He's taken some shots, 5 shots outside the box. He hasn't converted any of those. But like you said, his game isn't necessarily gonna be scoring the ball.
No.
So what is his position that you feel like he's most comfortable in, or where he produces the best?
Yeah, so this is what's really interesting, because I think Venezuela have been working this out themselves, where to play him in the midfield. Casapia play 3-4-3, very similar to Ruben Amorim. That's been quite popular with some of the teams in Portugal at the moment, and he's one of those 2 central midfielders. I think on the surface he looks like he's got a bit about him. He could like this attacking player, but actually I think playing in this 2-man midfield, he's obviously asked to do a lot, and he does a lot. He does a lot of running. He's pretty good defensively, I think, and ultimately though, I think his thing is his passing. I think that's what really stands him out for me. I think he can pick the ball up, he can turn, and then he can break the lines with a pass, and he's ambitious with it as well. He's prepared to take a risk, and more often than not, that risk pays off. So I think he's a really interesting midfielder. I don't know forgive me, I don't know what formation Inter Miami play, but what you're getting with Segovia is I think a sort of I don't know. I don't want to describe as box to box, but he's a bit of an all rounder.
And that is ultimately where I think most people are intrigued, because the player that you alluded to earlier that got sold to the EPL, Diego Gomez, went to Brighton. He was a box to box 8. Like he was we used to say he had 3 lungs, because he just would not stop running. He would win the ball in the midfield, but he could also progress the ball forward. Like he was the prototypical box to box 8, and we were hoping that this would be the replacement. Now, if you had to, talking about Diego Gomez, if we had to say one or the other, what's his strongest suit, we would say defensively, right? I think he was stronger defensively, a little more erratic on the offensive, kind of like a locomotive. He would just put his head down and just get in the box. With Segovia, when I saw the highlights, he looked like he was a little more tactical, a little better with the ball at his feet than Diego Gomez would be. So I'm wondering, if you had to say strength, either the attack or defensively, if you had to pick one or the other, which one would you say he's stronger at?
Oh, it's hard for me to say. Last year he was like 96th, 97th percentile in the league for interceptions and tackles. Okay, and I think so that he has that. But I think this season what we're seeing from him is that ambition to get forward. I described him as he likes to be close to the ball. So that's whether that's going forward. He likes to be a safe option or an available option. He's very good at finding space. And when he's out of possession, he likes to be close. He likes to be closing down.
Right.
he's not covering tons of ground. I think he's very smart with his positioning. I think, and as I say, this 3-4-3 that Casapia play, you're having to do, there's a lot of fluidity. So there's a lot of movement, and it's I think a really good comparison I saw was comparing him to Enzo Fernandez at Chelsea. So when he was at Benfica and then moving to Chelsea, people didn't know where to play him, whether it's that slightly deeper role or further forward for his passing. And I think, like Segovia, I think the best plays is that slightly deeper role where he's able to, he's not going to carry the ball. He's going to pass the ball, but he's also going to get up there himself.
Well, and I want to mention something here, and Danny, tell me if I'm wrong here, but like Gus is mentioning here in the chat, so he's a Gomez, but with better offense. I'm looking at the last 4 games. Yeah, I'm looking at the last 4 games, and he's scored a couple goals, Danny. I think I'm starting to turn around on this kid. I mean, he should get a rare card at least. Keep him a silver, but give him a rare.
But if it wasn't for the copyright, I would pull up the video that I saw earlier and show it to everybody, because I'm telling you, he gets saucy with his ball handling. And if you haven't, you can just check out. I think the YouTube video is called "The Future of Venezuela" or something like that. He gets saucy with the ball.
Yeah, I was going to say the thing he's really blown up for recently is that goal against Brazil in the World Cup qualifiers, which was a shot from range, and I think that sort of that ties in with his passing range, right? I think in Casapia, he's not being asked to be the person taking the shots, the person's scoring the goals. He's the person creating it. But with his passing range, and that, he's so good with the ball, he can put it where he wants. And I think that can also progress into his shooting, like if he is given that license to shoot. So I think I think with a 4-man defense and slightly more room for him to find more spaces and stuff, it could be interesting.
Go ahead, Danny. No, one of the things that I wanted to mention was Diego Gomez wasn't like this stout offensive player, right? He just kind of had to be at the right place at the right time and let Messi.
Yeah, good positioning, right?
Mm-hmm. So, like in reality, we don't need him to be able to sort of like create here. Just be in the right place at the right time and kind of don't fuck up.
The thing is, we have a new coach coming in, Javier Mascherano. He's our new coach. We don't know what to expect as far as formations go, how he's going to play. We keep hearing that with Argentina, he liked to play a 4-2-3-1. So we're trying to figure out where exactly Telasco would exactly fit in, because we have 2 deep-lying midfielders already. We have 3, actually. We have Sergio Busquets. We have Federico Redondo, which I think he'll end up in Europe next year. And we have Yannick Bright, which is an unknown probably in Europe, but he's a young, promising defensive midfielder. I'm wearing his shirt in support because I really do think he's going to lose his spot, unfortunately, to start the season. But because we have 3 deep-lying midfielders already, we're wondering if this guy, Segovia, is going to be given the liberty to be that attacking midfielder, or counted on to be a box-to-box that has a little more liberty to push up, which is from what you're telling me he has the capability of doing. And I have a feeling, because Busquets not going to do that. Bright isn't going to do that. Redondo might have that capability, but it sounds like Telasco might be that guy that could give us what we're missing, because I think that's what's missing in our midfield.
I mean, the idea of him playing next to Busquets in that bottom 2, that fills me with a lot of excitement. Like, he could not only learn a lot from him and from the defensive side, but like they would complement each other nicely. Busquets gives him the ball and he can play the pass. That's why I would see it. I think, but this is another reason of why he's such a good signing, is because playing in this Casapia formation where the midfielders have to do a bit of everything, he has that flexibility. Mascherano could mold him to how he wants, in my opinion. He's got a lot of talent. Like I said, he's not like a bust your gut sort of player, but he's very confident in the ball. Like, he'll take it from deep, turn his man, and he's not quick, but he's got that quality to turn someone. So I think I think the thing that I love about the Portuguese league is that there is so much talent in the smaller teams that we're starting to see more clubs pick up. And I think with Inter Miami, you must be using your data to have picked him out. There must have been a reason for it. And right. I think he is one of these gems that is just a perfect time to pick him up. He's ready to sort of take that step up. He's like I said, he's really shined in the last month or 2 for Casapia. And I think in a midfield under Mascherano, I mean, that's a great coach, for a midfielder.
Right. I mean, he was a center defensive midfielder himself before he got pushed to center back. In this league, in the MLS, unfortunately, we have a salary cap. So because of that salary cap, you're almost forced to look for those young gems in different parts of the world because you don't have the money to spend on these big names and bring them over. So we're looking for it, and we hope we found one here. In the chat, just a heads up, this is going to be a long stream today. We're probably going to get out of here soon. So if you have any questions that Barney might be able to answer, put them in the chat now before we head out of here. Chris, how are you feeling so far about Telasco Segovia?
I'm not gonna lie. Before we started this, Segovia. Before we started the show, I wasn't sold. I didn't want this guy. I don't know who he was. I don't know where he's coming from.
Chris likes to forget that we have salary caps in this league, by the way.
Yeah, and so I look and I'm like, okay, this guy had 6 goals in 2019 to 2023. I could score 6 goals in 4 years, right? I mean, and obviously I'm just gasbagging, but 2 goals. He played very well with Venezuela, but then I thought to myself, okay, well, are we really getting someone that's of like really good value, I guess? But yeah, like you said, we're against the salary cap. But now, after doing some research, Barney came in and he's telling us all that we're getting a good signing. I mean, look, when I went on Twitter to look for information, a lot of people who follow the Portuguese league are looking at this kid and they're like, damn, it sucks. We're going to lose a good player, like a quality player. So I'm on that side, Danny. I'm more optimistic now.
I find it really interesting because when we started doing the podcast, it was about 5 years ago. A club called Boavista had just signed American right back Reggie Cannon, and this was like at the time I think Reggie Cannon was this really hyped young American talent, and for whatever reason it didn't go very well at Boavista. But at the time it was that American talent was coming to the Portuguese league. The Portuguese league has drastically changed in those years, so like it very much is the export of talent now rather than the import of talent. It used to be a stepping stone to Europe. Now I feel like it's there's players who may try and go into Europe, but there's more avenues for players to progress. And I think I think the Casapia are very opportunistic. They are the good eye for talent. Like I've said, they've moved on a few other players recently to bigger clubs. I think Segovia going to if he had gone to a Porto or a Sporting or Benfica, it would have taken him a little while to get into that team. He may not. Quite often, the players will move to make that step, and they're not able to do it. Inter Miami feels like a great step for him, and I think like you say, he's got age on his side. I think he can grow into a really good player.
Well, John Paul's mentioning here, Barney, I see his full games with Venezuela. I notice he has a lot of confidence. Not really the type to give negative passes. He likes to progress the ball. Do you think that he'll do the same in the MLS?
Yeah, that is his game. I like to describe it as like he's ambitious, but more often than not, those passes come off. And he's got long range passing. He will break the lines. To go back to the comparison I made earlier, Enzo Fernandez I think is a really good comparison. If you're on, Enzo Fernandez at Benfica maybe when he was blowing up and then went at the World Cup. Right. But that sort of player.
I want to do, wait, before you do something there, Danny, just hold on to it. Don't lose whatever you're about to do. My name is Jeff. He says Chris is like, bro, the CB only has 2 goals. Not his job to score, Chris. Listen, I don't know if you were here earlier. My name is Jeff, but he scores 2 goals within the last 4 games. That gets me excited. I want balls in the back of the net. Maybe that's asking for too much.
Well, no, I wanted to just set up the comparison because we're hoping that he could be the Diego Gomez replacement, right? And I brought this up literally for Chris. Funny that he just said that right before I said this, is that Chris is balls back of the net. That's his thing. Diego Gomez only scored 3 goals last season. I just looked it up. 3 goals. Segovia has 2. Like, they're not that far off. What you want is him to dominate the midfield, to progress the ball. Like you said, he has that long range passing, which is great, even though we don't have any speed up top to receive it. But we don't. Who knows who else we'll bring in? Everything sounds positive to me with this signing, and I'm looking forward to it. And then 2.5 mil, I'm assuming for Casapia. What's a
Casapia? Yeah, that's
Casapia.
That's a significant sum. That's quite a for a club of that.
It's huge.
Yeah, for the position of the Portuguese, that's a great deal for them. So,
and that's how much we got Diego Gomez for, also, by the way, 2.5 mil.
Yeah. And Barney, you mentioned that they have like the lowest amount of like income or like money in terms of being in the Premier League in Portugal. So
yeah, Yeah, they're a small club. They're not big financially. They've got a lot of history, but yeah, they've done well to stay up since they've been promoted. They've had good coaches, and like I said, their talent, the way they can identify talent, they've been really good at that.
Gus said he heard that it was a record signing for Casapia. And John Paul, I said there's not a lot of speed because I'm thinking Suarez and Messi. I forgot Fafa's there, but I don't think Fafa's starting. So, all right, Barney. Oh, go ahead, Chris. Do you have something else?
No, I was just going to mention something before we go because everybody's talking about Ustari in the chat. Ustari did re-sign with us, yes, which makes me more comfortable, honestly. And I guess we'll cover this on the Monday show.
Yeah,
but yeah, let's leave it for the Monday show. We'll tickle the balls for a little bit, guys. Calm down.
But yes, he did resign. So yeah, Barney. Oh wait, Chris. Well, I'll ask you, Barney, since you cover the Portuguese leagues. You're not Portuguese yourself, but because I'm assuming you've heard plenty of Portuguese talk football. How do Portuguese fans feel about Messi?
Oh, I think actually, I don't know. I'm going off a lot of the stuff I read on Twitter, but like Ronaldo's hate. It's not hate. I think there's a few Ronaldo dislikers in Portugal as well. Course. Like, yeah, I don't know. I personally, I love Messi. I think he's amazing. Like I like it. It's just one of the best players I've ever seen. It was but yeah, I wouldn't say it's 100% negative.
And then one last question. Since Messi arrived and Apple kind of gives access to everybody, have you started watching any Messi games here and there into Miami games?
No, I haven't watched any MLS. I've just had my second child, so I barely find the time to watch the Portuguese league. So
all good, all good. All right,
I'll be definitely try and watch Segovia though. When he plays with them, I'll try and catch a game or two
for sure. Oh, okay. Barney, tell Danny how Di Maria's playing right now. People are killing me because I said I don't want Di Maria.
Oh, well, do you know, one thing I thought was maybe next season in a swap deal, Segovia comes back to Portugal and you can have Di Maria. But Di Maria is so good, man. Di Maria why wouldn't you want him? He's incredible.
Because I feel like he's like 50 years old at this point. So
it doesn't matter. He's killing it.
He's killing it right now?
Oh, he's Benfica's best player. Maybe a little bit of fitness issues, but when he plays, he's great, and he's by far the most important player for Benfica at the moment.
But that's my worry. His fitness issues. We have a team full of fitness issues. Luis Suarez is running on 2 broken knees. We got Jordi Alba and Busquets who are a little longer in the tooth. So I mean, they did fine last year, but at some point that catches up to you. So I'd like to get a couple more Telascos and you know.
But I mean, Di Maria is still doing it in the Champions League as well, man. He is.
No. Di Maria is that guy. But I want to get younger, a little younger. But everybody's killing me because I said it. So I'll take I'll take it. I said it. All right, Barney. I don't want to keep you too much. I know it's nighttime over there. Please let everybody know where they could find you one more time if they want to keep up with the Portuguese league and just follow you in general. Please make sure you follow them on Twitter and the YouTube channel, whatever else you got going.
Yeah, we've got YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. It's Longball Futebol, the Portuguese spelling of football. And we've got a weekly podcast and a Patreon as well for a bit of bonus content. But yeah, we cover all the weekends games every week. Me and my brother, sometimes a guest as well. And yeah, get it for all your Portuguese football news. Yeah, come to us.
Awesome. I appreciate you taking the time to join us and the fact that you're covering the Portuguese league in the language that we could understand, because I don't know how we would have done this otherwise. So really appreciate you and thank you for coming out. Chris, any final words there?
John Paul's asking when's the next show. I imagine it's going to be Monday.
Monday, 9 o'clock. We'll have Inter Miami show. Mike and Branton from the Inter Miami show. They're going to be joining us to break down the Ustari, probably Telasco, all the other signings, rumors. Barney, would you watch Miami if we get Neymar?
Oh, I might have to bring back Messi Neymar. Yeah. MSM.
That's it. That's why they're going to bring him, just because it's just going to bring more eyes.
I mean, yeah, that is that's probably the best attacking free ever, isn't it? That was so good.
Yeah, that was a fun time to watch football for sure.
Yeah.
All right. If you are listening on audio, we appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please give us 5 stars, comment, review, all that good stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. Pace Hunter, I did not say Alba's done. I said that they're getting older. It's a fact. I said that they did good last year. I do not. That's it. All right, Jesus. And for those of you in the chat, as always, we appreciate you hanging out with us. I didn't think we were going to get so many on a Saturday afternoon, but we got 70 of you guys right now. So appreciate you guys. For the 70 of you, please like the episode before you head out of here. Make sure you follow Barney. And we'll be back Monday night with Inter Miami show to talk some more Inter Miami. So until the next one, have a good one.
Thanks, guys.